The New Hampshire results are hot off the presses, and we have ourselves 2 winners declared from the New Hampshire primary.
Drum roll,
Drum roll,
please.
please.
Who possibly could it be?
We're all shocked to know that it's Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Can you believe it?
No, I'm shocked. I'm shaking in my boots.
So we do have results in. Donald Trump is officially the winner of the New Hampshire primary, which was very much expected, but not by as much as we originally anticipated. It's
Hmm.
been quite competitive with Nikki Haley. So far, from the votes that we have in, which is about 30% of the overall vote, he's only leading Haley by single digits. Nikki Haley has over 45% of the vote, which is
Hmm.
much higher than I anticipated. And I think a lot of people were expecting her to do.
Like I said, get me to South Carolina, and now I really mean it because Nikki's gonna go to South Carolina. We thought maybe before the New Hampshire primary results were in that maybe she would drop if it was a Trump blowout, but it's not. So
Yeah, I genuinely thought anything above 30% was gonna be really a big night for her, and to have her currently sitting at
mm,
45.5% is really impressive and is means that she is going to stick it out. She is saying in interviews that she's gonna stay until Super Tuesday, which is in March, so this would mean that this sort of storyline keeps going for the next couple of weeks at least, but ultimately, is there a path for her to win the nomination? No.
I think no. my my crystal ball is saying no. But I'm super curious about where do all of those voters go? Where do all of those Nikki Haley voters go when all is said and done?
Yes, something else really stood out to me in the exit polling when people were coming out of their polling locations. Lots of reporters ask them questions. We call those exit polls. They also do it over the phone for people in states that do mail in voting and that kind of thing. And what really captured my attention from the exit polls was that 47% of Republican primary voters in New Hampshire said that Trump was unfit to be president if he's convicted of a crime. And I
Hmm.
think that you're seeing a huge overlap between that percentage and the Nikki Haley 45%. And it's a big question. Do those
Yeah.
people ultimately get on board with Trump when he wins the nomination and vote for him? Or are they going to
Or
sort of be like, I'm out, I'm not voting, I'm voting for Biden, anybody but a convicted felon? I don't know. I think that that's TBD.
that's going to be an interesting kind of grab when all is said and done to see where we can get
Yeah.
those voters. I'll
Agreed.
take
If
them.
there is a reason for hope, if people are looking for a reason for hope, that is where it is. Is that when you tell moderate, common sense people that they have a choice between a guy who's a few years older than the last time they voted for him
Hmm.
or a convicted felon, which it will be the case in a matter of months, that they're picking grandpa, Grandpa Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna elect the guy who's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But, speaking of the potentially convicted felon, he is not even clear who she is.
They never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything, deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people.
Wait, the size of the crowd.
What
Do you
crowd?
mean the people who are now in
Oh,
prison?
January
He like,
6th. Yeah.
this wasn't your inauguration. It
Well,
was an
that's
attack
right.
on the Capitol. What are you talking about?
Right.
Oof,
It wasn't
boy.
a pep rally. It was an
Right,
insurrection.
right.
That's right, and he's also again, it's all about the language use. Words matter. It is now the crowd. It is not the insurrectionists. It is the hostages now, not the convicted
Oof,
felons in
oof.
jail.
Put
Um,
up the photo. Put up the photo of Elise Stefanik hiding from the so-called hostages on January 6th. The attackers in the Capitol, she's crouching behind. I just saw this on Twitter the other day. It's an amazing photo. You have to check it out. But let's
yeah, I
call
need
a
to.
spade a spade. Trump does not know Nikki Haley from Nancy Pelosi. He's trying to make a dig there at Nancy Pelosi, and he is calling her Nikki Haley multiple times.
It's
If
not
this were
good.
Biden, of course, it's front page news on every conservative rag, but it's Trump, so he's going to get a pass. It's sad.
Biden would be crucified if he had this senior moment.
Right.
Truly, Trump, no one seems to care. But, again, my hard-hitting Donald Trump reporting, he's old, baby. He's old. It's
Frustrating.
giving pot kettle. And
It's giving vibes. I mean, that is the definition
yeah.
of vibes and why we called this podcast Vibes Only, not to weave it in again, but to
No,
weave it in
weave it
again.
in, Brian. Weave
Weave
it in.
it. We are
Like and
making tapestries
subscribe.
over here.
We're quilting.
Is that it's the Biden vibe. Like they have effectively branded him as the old man. And so it's like his vibes for him to mess up a name. And that's not Trump's vibe. Trump has escaped, even though they are almost the same age. Trump has escaped that vibe, and therefore nobody cares because it doesn't fit the branding. It doesn't fit the narrative that's being spun about him.
Totally. He's presented as younger than Biden forever, and now he's not. So welcome to reality, Donald Trump. You're old and you have senior moments.